Hashtags. Let's talk about them. I see it all the time. People are posting on social media and they're using all these hashtags. So let's dive in. My name is Bonitatibus, and on today's episode of Home Care Digital, we're talking about hashtags and whether or not they're even worth your time. So the first thing to really understand about hashtags is the evolution of them. So when it comes to hashtags, when they were first created, it was based on helping the social media platforms to better know what the content is about. But here's the thing, when it comes to the algorithm, it's improved a lot, and so it doesn't need a lot of the tools. So we're going to dive into each platform, which ones require or should use hashtags and which ones you may be wasting your time utilizing. The first one is Facebook. I see so many times people are using hashtags on Facebook. You don't need to do any Facebook hashtags or Instagram hashtags. We'll kind of combine Facebook and Instagram because they're owned by the same company. And so a lot of the things are exactly the same. When it comes to hashtags, like when you really think about it, have you ever clicked a hashtag? Have you ever been like, oh my God, I can't wait to click on this hashtag and see what other people are posting? The problem is people just do so many generic hashtags which don't actually work, right? And so you're wasting your time trying to develop hashtags. And again, if you were watching previous episodes, and I'm going to talk more about this in the future too, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. But in this previous episode, I talked about how specifically ChatGPT or AI tools will put a bunch of hashtags in your social media posts because it doesn't know, it doesn't have the strategy. You don't want to use hashtags when it comes to Facebook and Instagram. You're wasting your time. Now, there are some situations where a hashtag is good to utilize for Facebook and Instagram, and that is for events specifically and having a custom hashtag. So for example, if you were to go to hashtag HCCE24 or HCCE25, HCCE stands for Home Care Champions Experience, which is our event, which is coming up in September of 2026. If you want to learn more, you can go to homecarechampionsexperience.com. But if you want to see what that event is about, what people have shared, what people have posted, you can click on that and go to that hashtag HCCE25, and then you can see the different types of posts that people have shared about that specific event. It's cool for different events that you're doing, weddings, right? Things of that sort that make it easier. You know, you can do hashtag contests that, hey, if somebody posts and they use this hashtag, then you can find the post that they've done. And so there are some elements of hashtags being relevant and impactful for Facebook and Instagram. But again, it's when you're utilizing it for that specific version of events. But if you're just like putting 30 hashtags at the bottom of your post, you're just interrupting the flow of the post. You make it seem like it's very AI. It's very, it feels off when you see it, right? Because it's just like, it's in blue and it's right there. It's smacking you in the face and it takes away from the actual post. So again, I highly recommend not using hashtags for both Facebook and Instagram. When it comes to LinkedIn, using a few strategic hashtags can be a little bit more impactful. So leveraging maybe 3 to 5 that are very industry specific or specific to you are going to be a lot more effective in what you're doing. But again, we're not putting 30 hashtags in here. You're being very strategic about the types of hashtags that you're doing that are going to just help get more engagement, increase the viewership of those specific hashtags and really how you're leveraging them. When it comes to these hashtags, you kind of want to combine broad hashtags with specific niche hashtags. So there's certain things that you can do when it comes to LinkedIn that are specific. So if there's certain styles of posts, like you can have your own custom hashtag with certain posts, where it's like, it could be DC, right? Digital Champions Success Stories. And so then I can find digital champion success stories based on those hashtags and I can go to it, right? So there's different ways that you can strategically utilize these hashtags that make it better when people find it, when they click it. That's going to be, again, more impactful. And then the same thing I mentioned for Facebook and Instagram, right? Having those event hashtags can be super impactful. But again, I wouldn't spend too much time on this. Yes, maybe 3 to 5 is good, but if you're spending a lot of time wondering what hashtags to do, honestly, I would avoid them. I have been able to grow my social media platforms getting tons of results without without using any hashtags. So again, really important to be mindful of those types of things. The last one that I'm going to talk about today is TikTok. I know many of you may not be using TikTok for your home care business, and that's okay. I actually did a video a while back where I talked about, is TikTok right for your home care business? But TikTok, the reason why I bring it up, is more relevant in hashtags and it working strategically for you. So if you are creating videos on TikTok and you're looking to increase your reach, but again, I wouldn't go too far in creating hashtags for TikTok until you watch that video where I talk about whether or not you should even be using TikTok for your home care business. Because that's, again, a whole nother question, a whole nother aspect of people being like, hey, Nick, what hashtag should I use for TikTok? Well, that might not be the best question, because the question may be, should I use TikTok at all? So again, these are important things to understanding that the quality of your questions become really impactful in what's going to be developed and be successful for you. So again, with, TikTok, you do want to have a few strategic hashtags, things that are trending, things that you can do if what you're creating does match the trend that you're doing. But again, I don't recommend all of these things. I think it complicates things. Keeping it really simple is going to help you to drive greater results. So without diving into any further, in conclusion, I don't recommend overall leveraging and utilizing hashtags unless you're utilizing them for events. I think you're wasting time. You're wasting space in your posts. You're distracting people from the overall message that you're looking to create. So keep that in mind when you're creating content. So there you go. Your question answer. If you want to learn more about how we're helping agencies to increase their online presence, I highly recommend scheduling a call, talking with us to learn more how we can help, because you don't have to navigate all of this on your own. We're here to help you. My name is Nick Bonitatibus. Let's grow together.